Okay, boys and girls, for our next project, we're going to work with a style of art called pixel art. Pixel art is just a version of a work of art that is made up of little tiny boxes of color. This might remind you of the style of art that you might have seen in a video game. So we're going to create on the computer a version of us. So we call this a self-portrait. It's a picture of us. And then later we're going to print out this version that we create on the computer, and we're going to make a pixel painting. So if you look at some of the third graders from last year, this is what their painting will end up looking like. It's the same thing as their self-portrait. We're just going to paint the boxes of color. So we're going to use these blank worksheets called grids. They're just little tiny blank boxes to paint in. What we have to start with, though, is this program called piskelapp.com. This is where we're going to create our self-portrait version of us using pixels. So you're going to go to this website. I'll put it up on the whiteboard so you can see it. And when you get to this website, you're going to click sign in. It's really important that you sign in so you can save your work if you don't finish it. You'll sign into your Google account, so mine's already up there. I'll just click on it. And then I have a couple started pixels here. I'm going to create a new one if I haven't created one yet, so you will all click this button that says Create Sprite. Okay, once I'm in the program here, this is where I'm going to start to create my pixel version of me. But before I do, we have to change this grid size to be a little bit smaller. It's a little bit too big right now. So I'm going to go to this button that says Preferences. Oh, I'm sorry, not that one. Resize, the one underneath that says Resize. It's this little arrow. So I'm going to look at the size of my pixel right now. It's 32 inches by 32 inches. So I'm going to change this to 20 by 20, just to make it a little bit smaller for us, and then click Enter. Okay. So that just made my pixel sizes a little bit smaller. It'll be a little easier to paint this in the end. All right, let's go through some of the tools. On the sidebar here is where you'll see all the tools. The first tool that you'll use a lot is the pen tool, and this will just allow you to take one single box of color and color on your grid. You can change the size of your pen tool by going up and down here, and you can make many pixels together like this. Coming down here to the paint bucket tool, that will allow you to paint an entire area. So if I select that whole area, it'll make that whole area black. I can change the color if I come down here to the color picker tool, and I have all these unlimited colors to choose from. So I can just create light colors, dark colors, or really bright colors if I move my mouse around here. So if I chose that green there, it would come up here in the color picker tool, and I can change the background to green. Okay, I'm going to change my background to black just so that you can see how I started to create my self-portrait version of me. Coming down here, we're going to use this rectangle tool. So there's some shape tools as well. So to start my pixel, I'm just going to be on a small pen size rectangle tool, and I'm going to start with my head. So I'm going to choose a skin color that I think matches me. Most of you should go in between orange and yellow right here. You'll find some tans and some peach colors. So I'm just going to take this and move it closer to white so it's a little bit lighter for my skin color. Okay, from there I can now drag my mouse and I can start to create the shape that I want my head to be. So when we think about creating a self-portrait, we are just creating a version of us that is our head, our neck, and our shoulders. If you want to create your whole body, you can. It might be a little bit more difficult to have all the body parts in there though with our pixel sizes. Okay, so I've got my head. I can use the paint bucket tool to just color that in. And then I think I'm going to go and start my eyes. So I'm going to change my pixel size to be a little bit larger here. And I'm going to change my color to white. Whoops, I was on the paint bucket tool. Uh-oh, let's go back here. Okay, let's get that peach color back. There we go. I need to go back to the pen tool. There we go. Now I'm going to change to white here. And I'm just going to do couple boxes like this to do the white of my eyes. Then I'll change to blue because I have blue eyes. And I'm going to change my pixel size a little bit smaller. And then finally that little black dot in the center of our eyes, I'm just going to put mine in the corner here. Okay, so I've got my eyes so far. I'm going to change this preview up here to be a little bit larger so I can see it. There we go. Okay, now I will start to create my face features. So you can add a nose, you can add a mouth. There's different types of ways that you can show your mouth. You can do just a little smile like this, or you can actually show your teeth. You can show your mouth open. You can show your mouth frowning or happy, whatever you think you want to do. Okay, so from there, I'm going to skip the nose. You don't have to add every face feature. I have blonde hair, so I'm going to choose some yellow here and change my pixel size a little bit bigger. So be creative with your pixel. There's no right or wrong answer to how you add your face features. This is a picture of you, and you can be totally creative with it. So I'm just going to add my hair kind of down like that because I have straight hair. And sometimes I have a little bun in the back, so I'm just going to put a little bun back there. Okay, from there I'll think about what I want my shirt to look like, what I want the background to look like. Do I want to add anything to my hair, anything else on my face? So think about what you look like. So if I go back to my final version here, you can see how I added a little bit of a rainbow background. I added a striped t-shirt, and that's about it. So that's how my finished portrait looks. At the end of class today, whether you finish or not, you need to save your work. So if I've got my work like this, I need to save it. So I'm just going to go to this middle button right here on the side. It's the Save button, and I'm going to click Save to Gallery. So when I go back to my gallery here, I can see that I have now a new pixel that I have saved. Okay, so let's get started creating the first step of our pixel paintings.